Hello, my name is Dex Troxel, and I'm going to be doing a presentation on the do's and don'ts for cultural diversity in Nigeria. I'll just begin right now. Again, my name is Dex Timothy Troxel. This is for AGB 309, which is sales, and I was assigned Nigeria. So first of all, going over the do's and don'ts for the PDI, which is the Power Distance Index, which is basically a measure of like the difference between social classes and the amount of power that they have. The discrepancy for Nigeria is pretty high. So for some of the do's, first of all, expect that power is not always equally distributed between social classes as it is as we see here in the US. There's going to be a very large difference between different classes, between men and women, between rich and poor. So just be ready for that and don't be disrespectful to the culture and how it is there. And then beyond that, just be ready for, to a certain extent, being in contact with those who have the power. Be more in contact with those who have more money, and then don't expect to see as much of the people who have less, because unfortunately the culture there is not as equal, and the people who do not have as much money, have as much riches, or are of a different sex or things like that, will not have as much powers as in the U.S. as we see here. And then don't always attempt to assert that everyone deserves equal rights, because it goes against their culture. And I'll touch on again, they're very culture driven, just in general, the way that they do things in Nigeria. Um, yeah. And then again, just don't give less respect to the people who are in power than they're due, as it'll be viewed as dissent. So next, do's and don'ts for IDV, which is individualism versus collectivism. So for Nigeria in particular, it's a very collectivist society, meaning that it's more of a groupthink type of society. If you get in with one individual, you're getting in with a whole group of people. So just be prepared for that. So some do's for that is get in well with a larger group of people that you're working with. Don't just focus on one individual person. Make sure that you're appealing to a wider audience of people, because most likely that's who you're going to be affecting. And then gain loyalty and trust within the larger group, because that's just going to be better for you overall, as more people are going to respect you, trust you, and it's just going to be better for you overall. And then don't go against the morals of society, because that'll be viewed by the entire society as dissentful and disrespectful to their culture and what they've built in the past. And then even if you don't believe that something's right, make sure that you are doing the things that is viewed as right for the larger group of people, because in Nigeria, it's more the collective versus the individual. You want to help everyone and benefit everyone more than just yourself or just an individual person. So next is masculinity and femininity. So overall, Nigeria is a very masculine society, which is characterized by people wanting you to work hard for what you earn and just making sure that you're not going to quit when the going gets tough. So some do's for a masculine society is always show hard work and determination to get whatever you want. You're going to always want to do your best on the job in any relationship. And you want to be assertive, because Nigeria is very masculine. They want you to be assertive. They want you to be a go and a doer and go do what you say that you're going to do. And again, be assertive and stand out of the crowd. They don't want you to blend in. You have to be on top of it. You have to show that your presence everywhere you go. And then don't let the status quo guide your actions and decisions. Again, you don't want to fade into the background. And then laziness is pretty much the enemy of a masculine society. You want to make sure that you're assertive. You want to make sure you're on top of everything, and it'll earn you the respect faster than if you're just lazy and give up when the going gets tough. So next is the Uncertainty Avoidance Index, the UAI. So pretty much this is a measure of how much a society avoids uncertainty. And Nigeria's is, I think the exact number is a 55 out of 100. So it's pretty much right in the middle. They don't really have an extreme opinion. So just some general do's. Always approach the unknown with an open mind and be flexible when that time comes. And then be ready for anything and always rely on quick thinking. Even if you're hit with something completely unexpected, you can always just react to it, roll with the punches, and make sure you're not getting left behind just because something that you didn't think was going to happen happened. And then some don'ts. Definitely don't be afraid of the future. Embrace the future because it's going to happen no matter what. And then don't make decisions in order to avoid change completely, because sometimes making big decisions that bring in change is the best decision for you as a person or for a company. So just make sure to weigh out all your options and don't completely discount an idea just because something will change. Okay, and next is LTO, which is long-term versus short-term orientation. So it's basically the idea of if countries look more for the long-term solutions or if they're more focused on short-term solutions. And it looks into a bit of how much a country believes in its traditions and if it's really tradition-driven. For Nigeria, it is extremely tradition-driven. Just some general do's is before you even get to this country, before you even want to do business with this country, you have to understand the traditions of its people in order to get a good working knowledge of how you should approach any situation, as most Nigerian people are going to be very rooted in the past and very rooted in their culture, and they're very proud of their culture as well. So just make sure to honor those traditions, and they'll give you the respect that you deserve back. You shouldn't be going, it's just some don'ts. Don't defy their traditions. Don't disrespect family traditions, and don't belittle them for, thinking short term. A lot of countries around this world, Nigeria included, are very happy honoring the things that they've done in the past, are very happy just being the way that they are. So just respect that and make sure that the decisions you're making sort of align with that. Next is the indulgence versus restraint culture, which is abbreviated IND, which is the basically tendency for countries to either indulge in something or restrain from indulging in something. Like an easy way to put it is if there was like a birthday cake at a party, would the members of the average society take all of the slices for themselves, or would they share and let it all go around to everyone at the party? Nigeria is a very restraint-driven country, extremely so. I think their rating was in the high 80s. So they're very, very, very much more likely to think for the village rather than the individual. I'm just going to use the term village, like basically meaning like all the members of society. So just some do's. Definitely don't take everything for yourself. Don't be individualistic and think that you're the only person that's important in society, because Nigerian culture dictates that everyone should get a share of the cake, everyone should get a share of the pie, and everyone should share with each other, and everything should be fair with one another. And another dude, just always think of the village. Think of village over yourself 9 times out of 10 whenever you're working with Nigerian people, just based on Nigerian culture. And then some don'ts: don't be selfish. Don't take everything for yourself, and don't think of yourself over those in the village. So if you have an opportunity coming your way that could be huge for you, but would be really detrimental to all the people around you, you're going to want to take the latter of the decision that would be better for everyone else, even if it means risking something hurting you. You definitely would just want to have everyone be equal, everyone share everything with each other. It's like good general rule. Yeah, so that pretty much concludes the presentation. So just some key takeaways from the presentation just about Nigeria. Very culture-driven society. It pretty much dictates everything that they do. It dictates a lot of their traditions. Just make sure that you're being very respectful of their traditions, because I personally just know a lot of my friends are Nigerian, and they're a very, very, very proud culture. And they like to let it be known that they are Nigerian. They like to let it be known where they come from in Nigeria. And they're very proud of who they are and their culture and everything that they've built in their country and everything that they've done, becoming sort of a world powerhouse. They were, like, in the past, a colonial society, basically. and they've grown into a real powerhouse in the world, and they're very proud of that. And just make sure that you're thinking of the whole group instead of everyone. Family for Nigerians is pretty much everything. From what I've had in my personal experience and just what I've learned through my research is pretty much everything they do in their society is driven by what's best for the family, how to help your family, how to be the man of the house, very masculine society, of course, how to take responsibility and how to help those around you, your parents, your children, and everyone in the house is important. So yeah, thank you so much. And that concludes the presentation on Nigeria. Thank you.